What's up with it, guys? Sorry for the that little. Well, you probably won't even have noticed the pause, but I can't help but to notice it. My damn timing is so on par nowadays. But trying to figure out if the mic was on mute. But anyway, it's not important. Hopefully, you're having a great day. Hopefully, you are not suffering and not in and stuck in the rat race or the rat maze that everybody seems to be in. Hopefully, you're not one of the sheeple who are just falling in line listening to everybody else, but more than likely, you probably are. And it's no fault of your own. You know, the whole system that we live in, when it comes to school, banking, big pharma, pharmacies, politics, entertainment, every single bit of everything. It's all sports, video games. It's all meant to keep us in a state of division or distraction. Keep us from truly truly realizing the potential that we all actually have and the fact that we are all the literal source of our hardship. We are the source of our life. We are the source of I think there's a lag. Definitely a lag. But anywho, you are the source. You're the source of which way your life goes. You're the source of how your world operates just due to the fact of your mind. Your mind is the key. Your mind is the overarching controller of your story. But now more than ever, people can no longer control their mind. People can no longer control how they feel, how they think, what they think, when they think, or anything of the sort. And we must realize now more than ever that the battle for our mind is very real, and we're going to continue to fail and fall short of the mark that's been set before us if we don't do something differently. Which I know seems a little daunting initially. And I mean, it does. Oh, that's not a bad guy. That lag is crazy. But of course, everything in this world, everything in this life, it all happens for a reason. And every reason, every cause has an effect. And if we can figure out the effect, or if we can identify the effect, then it's a lot easier to reverse engineer the cause. We're able to break out of the pattern because that's an that's a big problem with the system that's now been put into place, is that it knows humans very well, to the sense that they know that we are creatures of habit, that we're going to be comfortable doing the same thing over and over to an extent. We're going to be comfortable, so if we don't, man, tell you what, I don't like it. But if we don't begin to embody the truth that we know, if we don't begin to change ourselves from the inside out, then we will continue to stay victims, continue to stay lost, continue to stay heartbroken, distracted, scattered, without peace, without hope, without understanding. That's a big one, is understanding. And most people don't have that anymore because people think understanding comes from books. That's not true. True understanding, deep spiritual, long-lasting understanding, it comes from understanding self. The more you understand yourself, the more you understand your outside world, the more you will begin to see the game even like, let me figure out the words for it. But it's like we can see the game even more just because we understand the game more, because we understand ourselves, and understanding ourselves is the biggest part of the game. If you don't understand yourself, then I mean, you don't really have much. If you can't control your mind, then what do you have that's worth having? You can have all the cars in the world, you can have all the girls, you can have all the money, all the drugs, all the alcohol, all the pride-filled victories. You can have all these different things, but they're all vanity. It's all going to fail us. And if we don't, as a people, begin to become aware of why we do the things we do, how they impact our life, how they impact people around us, then we're going to stay hopeless. Houseway. We're going to stay defeated. We're going to stay victims of our circumstance. And it is my goal above all else, not to be good at the game, because I don't give a damn about this game if I was keeping it a buck. This is more just it's a form of media that I can post online a little. It's easier. It's convenient. There you go. And plus, also, I know there's times where I watch videos and it's helpful for me to have something to let my eyes kind of watch as my brain actually is taking in the information. But anyways, we're all we're all in this system together. We're all missing the point. And nobody stops to ask why. Like, that's always been my favorite thing. My favorite it's not a sentence, but it is a sentence. It's just one word. It's just why. Like, oh, you should do this. Why? You should believe this. Why? You should follow this belief. That exact same thing I basically just said. But why? Asking why and getting to understand things on a deeper level, it allows us to break out of the chains of habit. Almost. No, not really habit. Because habit's a good thing. If you love it, absolutely love it. But if you begin to embody the truth that you know, and begin to move with accordance to who you actually are, not what you actually want, then in time, and again, it has to happen naturally. We can't force anything. It's all about divine timing. But in time, the answer will show itself. The truth will appear, and it will set you free when the time is right. When you're meant to level up, when you're meant to grow, when you're meant to change, you'll Mm. Yeah, I should have stuck with the gun in that situation, but you'll begin to you'll begin to see reality from a different lens, and once you can see reality from a different lens, you realize how much control we actually do have. Wow, I love the lag. It is that was great. Great. Oh, I got a massage. Okay, I'm gonna come by there and 15. Okay. Mm, but that's that's what we have to figure out. We have to understand. We have to die daily to our ego self and live daily for our spiritual self. And it's all about the small baby steps. It's not about taking some massive leap. If you can take a massive leap of faith and change a great deal, then more, excuse me, more power to you. But for me, I've never really had that capability. It's all been about baby steps. It's been about little changes. It's about the small choices because the smallest choices ripple down to the biggest ones. You know, you can drop a pebble in a lake, but the ripples are going to spread out until the edge of the lake. And then if the splash is big enough, the ripples might even come back towards us. It's the same thing with this reality and our energy. Whatever energy we put into stuff, that's what we're going to get back. So if we don't change, if we don't fix our mind, if we don't embody the purpose that's been given to us, then you will continuously stay in this fallen, depressed, anxious, fearful, divided state. Because, of course, only you know who you truly are. I don't mean who you are now, the broken adult who has all these bills, who lives here and drives this and owns that. I mean the version of you that you were when you were pure, when you were a child, before your environment started to destroy you and break you apart and make you believe all these different things. You, in essence, each and every one of us is a character. Now, after you get past that character, you realize more of what we truly are and what we truly have inside of us. But first, before ever getting to that point, you have to overcome duality. You have to overcome your own mind, and you have to make the choice if you're going to serve good or bad, light, dark, right, wrong, righteousness, or selfishness. Those are kind of the opposites, aren't they? Interesting. But each and every one of us, we we're too caught up in the game. We're too caught up in these false narratives that are being fed to us. We're too caught up in this we're too caught up in this system. We're too caught up in this illusion that they have done sold us as reality. But then the thing that actually is reality, the the aspects of this world that's actually true, that's actually going to make a difference, like something like faith. That's something that even when I was young, like, you're crazy. Like, what faith? Right? That don't make sense. I gotta see it to believe it. Even in this moment, I know better, and I still am a skeptic, which is helpful. It's helped me to figure out a lot of things. It allowed me to kind of go down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and things of that nature. But I was say, I think I'm doing pretty damn well if I'm paying enough attention. But anywho, we all, maybe we're all skeptics. Maybe we all question reality. Maybe we all question the choices that are fed, or question the demands that are fed to us. It's each and every one of us. We all have a conscience. We all have the ability to question our own reality and what we deem as truth or fiction. But also at the same time, we have to come to the understanding that our perspective is not the only perspective. We have to come to the realization that everybody has truth. It's just a matter of who's in a place and who's in a position to where you actually want to follow what they tell you, follow what they try to instruct. Because everybody, in a way, tries to teach somebody something. We all try to. But most people spew nothing but crap out of their mouth. 9 times out of 10. And of course, that's where discernment comes into play, and you're able to kind of read the room in a sort of sense, read the energy behind what people say or what people think or how people move. But also at the same time, we have to be able to separate truth from lies. We have to be able, and we also have to be able to accept the truth once it's represented to us. Once someone produces a well enough argument that makes you question yourself, then your first responsibility shouldn't be to attack or to defend yourself. First responsibility should be to apply it, to see if what someone says is truly the right way to go about it. And even for me, like I say, I know a great deal. I've experienced a great deal at this point to where I'm wise beyond my age. But most people, and that's one too, a lot of people, everybody always wants wisdom, but people don't realize that wisdom comes from experience, they don't come from learning. In an intellectual aspect, it comes from gaining it through going through things. And I was blessed enough to go through a lot of hardships at a very young age, to the point where it molded me into this character where, yes, there's times where doubts arise, and yes, there's times where circumstances makes me change my perspective momentarily. Which, of course, that's one thing, like I say, like I want to be challenged above all else. I want to see other people's viewpoints, so that way I can help others in the best way possible, but also help myself in the best way possible. Let's see, first place again. I think that's gonna be the last one for me just because I got stuff to do now. But no, we have to learn to not be wise in our own way of thinking. We have to be open to being corrected, we have to be open to being last so that way we can be first. And whenever it comes to this modern day reality, it's a problem of psychology. It's a problem of people's ego running the system instead of their true self, their spirit self running the system. But it's just stuff to think about because, like I say, we're in a system that is intentionally designed to keep us in a fallen state. Even John D. Rockefeller himself said back in 1912 that he didn't want a nation of thinkers, he wanted a nation of workers. Like that's why the school system is designed exactly how it is. That's why the prison system is designed exactly how it is. That's why, like think about it. Like go to school, you have to sit down same place 7 hours a day, 8 hours a day. You can't leave or move unless a bell is raised. You have to get up and walk in line. They're programming us on how they want us to behave. And then, of course, you got things like, the banking system. And the banking system don't work unless people are in debt. Big pharmacy doesn't work unless people are sick. Like they're not trying to cure you. They're trying to treat you. They just want to keep giving you treatments until you die. Same thing with like cancer. Like I've lost multiple people from cancer. Most recently was my father. And once they started treating him with chemo and radiation, he got substantially worse, unbelievably fast. So it's like when you start to notice these things and you realize that there's certain things that are just put against us, and then the same thing like the religious aspect, like the Vatican, and that are, they're trying to pretty much gateway our relationship with our Father in heaven because they don't want us to realize that we have the power to think. They want us to think that we have to go through somebody to realize to gain that access. But it's just stuff to think on. Do your research. Don't believe me because I say it, but you can believe me because I said it. I will say that. But thanks for listening. Hopefully something helped. Please, if something stuck, like and subscribe. Most importantly, I'll link comment, like ask me questions, because and even if the questions are deep enough, then I can just make a video explaining why I defend the viewpoint that I portray. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Have a blessed day. Peace.